The dark truth behind my mother's magic nighttime tea. When you're a kid, your parents are like, God, you don't, question the weird stuff. You just think in your head that it's all just a game. Growing up, we didn't have much. Just me, my old man, and this tiny drafty trailer out in rural Ohio. Money was always tight, and my dad, well, he had what the neighbors called a short fuse. Back then, I just thought he was serious, like dead serious, about my training. See, every Sunday night, we played The Astronaut. He told me that to get to Mars, you had to learn how to survive in a complete vacuum. He'd have me lie perfectly still on the floor, and then he'd press this heavy, thick wool blanket right over my face. He'd lean his entire weight on it, counting down from 60, very, very slowly. I remember the heat, the way the air got thin and sour. My heart would hammer against my ribs like a trapped bird, but I'd stay still because Dad said real astronauts don't panic. When he finally pulled the blanket away, he'd be breathing hard, looking at me with these hollow eyes. I thought honestly that he was just proud of my progress. I'd gasp for air and tell him, I'm ready for the moon, Daddy, and he'd just walk away without saying a word. It wasn't until last year, when I was tucking in my own 7-year-old, that it hit me. My son was talking too much, being a typical hyper kid, and I felt that tiny flash of annoyance. But then, I looked at his little face, and suddenly, I felt the weight of that wool blanket all over again. I realized then that Dad wasn't training me for space. He was training me to be nothing. He couldn't stand the sound of my voice, the sound of my existence, and he was just waiting to see if one night the countdown would finally reach 0, and I'd just stop breathing